again. So we're going to keep going with inherited traits. So we've learned that it's inherited trait is anything that gets passed down from your parents to you, but specifically what we've talked about so far is your physical characteristics, the way you look, your skin color, your hair color, your eye color, how tall or how short you are, whether you have straight hair or curly hair, stuff like that. Like the way that people would look at you and describe you, those are things that you inherited from your parents. So if your parents both have brown hair, you have brown hair. If both your parents are really short, you're probably really short. Stuff like that. Like stuff that you don't have any control over. It's the stuff that you got from your parents. So we're going to keep going with this because, believe it or not, we can inherit more than just physical characteristics. Okay? So every person or every living thing, whether it's a person or an animal, they're born with instincts. So that's what we're going to spend some time talking about now. And I'm honestly just going to keep going because I had some space left over at the bottom of my notebook from yesterday's video. I'm just going to keep going from there. So here's where we stopped. Let's say we skip maybe 2 lines, and then on the 3rd line down, we're going to give ourselves a bullet point. Okay, so that's where we stopped yesterday. Here's where we're going to pick up today. I want to write down that we can inherit more than just physical characteristics. And remember, physical characteristics literally means the way you look. So most people, when they're, born, as they grow up, they either really look like their mom or their dad. So we can inherit from our parents more than just the physical outward appearance, more than just what we look like. So right underneath where we have this, and remember, if I start writing too fast, pause me. But right underneath where we can inherit more than just physical characteristics, I'm going to put a little dash, and we're going to end up highlighting this whole sentence. So I'm going to put, we can inherit behaviors. Called instincts. Okay, so I'm going to take a highlighter and I'm going to highlight this whole sentence. Remember, if I write too fast, pause me. We can inherit behaviors called instincts. So instincts, you guys, are things that you're born with the ability to do, which means you're born day one. It's the things that a little bitty newborn baby can do. So start thinking about things that you think a newborn baby could do. Well, without any help, newborn babies can cry. No one teaches a baby how to cry. Otherwise, babies wouldn't cry because crying babies are not a very joyful sound to hear. So no one teaches a baby to cry. No one teaches a newborn baby how to breathe. Okay, that's something that they're born doing, but they're born being able to do that because it's something that they practice as they're growing in mom's belly. Nobody teaches a baby how to blink. Okay, people blink to re-moisten their eyes and so that they keep like dust and particles out of their eye. So if you're blinking, no one teaches you, hey, you got to blink every like 5 or 10 seconds or so. Keep your eyes moist and wet. It's something that you don't have to think about. That's what an instinct means. Like no one sits there and is like, oh gosh, have I breathed in the past 30 seconds? Have I blinked in the past couple minutes? No one teaches you to think about or worry about those things because those are involuntary things, which means your body just does it all on its own. But if your body can take care of blinking and breathing all on its own, it's because it's a natural instinct for a human. So if we inherit behaviors, we can inherit instincts. It's what we're born with the ability to do, which means you never have to worry about it. You never have to think about doing it. Your body's just going to take care of it on its own. So in my notebook here, I want to give some examples of the instincts that we inherit as people. Everybody, every person is born with the ability to make noise. Okay, so like crying. Every newborn baby is able to make some noise, whether it's like the cute little like baby noises or actually crying to signal that something's wrong, whether they're hungry or they went to the bath, whatever it is. Okay, no one teaches a little baby how to do those things. It's just something that they're born with. When something isn't working for them, if they're uncomfortable, if they're scared or hungry or whatever, then their natural instinct takes over and they start cueing the mom and the dad with noises, whether it's crying or happy noises to let them know like, hey, this is cool, I like what we're doing, or this is not working, I need something different. So it's not something that you teach. An instinct means that you don't have to worry about it. You have that natural ability. Your body's going to take care of it. So no one's teaching a baby to make noise or to cry. It's just something that their ability that they're born with, that they can signal whether they like what's going on or they don't like what's going on. Being able to swallow is an instinct for humans. No one teaches you how to swallow. If you're drinking water or whatever you're drinking or you're eating food, you don't have to think about like, okay, now my mouth muscles need to push the food to the back of my throat and my throat muscles need to push the food down or the drink down my esophagus, because that's weird. Okay, no one thinks about those things because it's an instinct that your body just takes over and does. If you're eating a sandwich and you're chewing it up, eventually you're going to swallow it because that's how you eat food. No one teaches you how to do those things because they don't have to. Your body naturally takes care of that on its own. It's an instinct. But the same way a little newborn baby, you give them milk or formula or whatever, no one teaches the baby like, okay, I'm going to give you the bottle. So when I put the bottle in your mouth, you have to start sucking on it to swallow the milk. No one does that because babies are babies. It's a natural ability that the baby is born with just to swallow what it's given so that it fills up its tummy and it's not crying because it's not hungry anymore. Okay, so instincts are things that we don't have to take care of. It's stuff our body just naturally can do. But if it's something our body can naturally do, that means that on day one, you are good to go. You came out being able to do it. So every person comes out ready to go with the ability to make noise and to cry and to swallow. But we also come out with the ability to blink. Okay, nobody worries about blinking. I just said that because it's weird if you had to think about every 30, 40 seconds, like, oh God, did I blink? I need to blink. I have to blink again. Because then you just be blinking all the time, freaking out over blinking. And that's weird. It's something your body just takes care of. Nobody teaches you how to breathe. That's why, thankfully, we can breathe while we sleep. Okay, no one's dying every night and waking back up in the morning and doing it all over again. Your body never stops breathing unless something traumatic happens to your body. But that's why little babies, they can sleep all day and they're good to go. No one's teaching you that you need to breathe in, breathe out. Your body just takes care of that on its own. Your body just draws in oxygen and releases carbon dioxide all on its own. You don't have to worry about that. So instincts, things that you're born with the ability to do on day one, you're good to go. We can make noise, we can cry, we can swallow, we can blink, we can breathe, and we can get rid of waste. That means your body has the ability to get rid of waste that it doesn't need. And we get rid of waste through 3 ways. Sweating. Well, really 2 ways because it's sweating and going to the bathroom, but it's either going 1 or going number 2. So those are the 3 ways. Sweating, going pee, or poop. That's how your body gets rid of waste. But even still, little newborn babies, they can get sweaty if they get too hot. Little newborn babies will pee and little newborn babies will poop. No one's teaching that baby how to pee or poop or sweat when they get hot. It's just a bodily function that your body takes care of. So yes, eventually you will learn not to pee in your pants, okay? You will learn the cue that you have to go to the bathroom and then you get up and you go to the bathroom. but you're born with the ability to use the restroom. You're born with the ability to pee and to poop. That's a natural instinct that your body just takes care of for you. So at this point, we have that we inherit physical characteristics, the way we look, and we inherit behaviors. And the behaviors that we can inherit, they're called instincts. And these are things that every human being is able to do without thinking about it. But it's also the things that if we don't have to think about, that means that on day one of your life, you were able to do all of these things. So just the same way that people have instincts, animals have instincts too. So I'm going to put animal instincts. And yes, animals go to the bathroom, okay? Whether it's, a bear or a tiger or a squirrel or a bird or, I don't know, a fly or whatever it is, it has the ability to go to the bathroom, okay? So that's obviously something that happens. They don't have to, no mama bear is teaching a little cub how to use the bathroom, or it's just something their body takes care of. But also things that, their bodies just naturally take care of is just, even if we're thinking about a bear, hibernation. So we know hibernate means that, the bear or the animal, they eat a ton during the spring and the summer and the fall. And so that way, when they go into hibernation during the winter months, all they're doing is sleeping. So they've eaten enough, they stored enough fat inside their bodies to keep themselves warm, they go to sleep, they're hibernating, and when, the weather's right and things are great, then they come out of hibernation. But there's no one who's like teaching a class to the mama bears and whatever, telling them like, okay, well, here's when you hibernate, and here's how much food you need to eat, and here's where you need to go. And that doesn't work like that. So no one's teaching them how to do those things. It's just something that their body naturally takes over, and they go ahead and they take care of on their own. So just the way that hibernation happens, if you've ever seen or heard the fact that birds fly south for the winter. Now, we live in the South, so we really don't experience that. But where I grew up was up north, and everyone, my mom, they used to say that the birds fly south for the winter because it gets too cold and their body can't adapt to the cold. So they literally fly south to warmer temperatures so that they don't have to be in the cold. They don't like it. So, but again, no one's sitting there having a class for birds like, okay, guys, we're going to get some snow next week, so it's probably time for you to head south for the winter. No one does that. It's just a natural instinct that the bird's body just takes over. It knows where it needs to go, and it just flies south for the winter. There's a certain type of butterfly. I'm trying to think of it. I don't want to misspeak, though. But they literally fly south so that they can mate and create new life, okay? But no one's telling them like, hey, it's that time of year, you got to go take your trip. Their little body takes over and they go wherever they need to go. But those are animal instincts. Okay. If you've ever seen, like little puppies that are still with the mom, or little kittens that are still with the mom, those little puppies and those little kittens, they know that the milk comes from their mom because they're mammals. And that's one of the key characteristics for a mammal, is that it can produce milk to feed its young. But no one's like teaching that little puppy or that little kitten like, hey, that's where it is. Their body just senses it and they go towards their mom. No one's teaching the mom, like the mom puppy, like, hey, you're gonna have a lot of little puppies here, so you're gonna have to start producing milk for the babies. It just, the body takes over. It's something, an instinct is something that you don't have to worry about happening. Your body just takes over and it does what it needs to do. I'm gonna write down, I'm going to flip my page because I'm at the bottom of my page, but I'm going to write down one sentence that we're going to highlight, and then there's a couple more things that we need to look at for right now. So on the back of where I was, I'm going to write down an instinct. Is anything that you don't have to think about. It's a little bit longer, so I'm going to add on, you just naturally do it. So I'll hold it over this and let you guys write it down. Remember, if you need to pause me, and then when you're ready, unpause me. I'm going to end up highlighting this entire sentence here. An instinct is anything that you don't have to think about, you just do it. We just breathe on our own. We blink on our own. Our body gets rid of waste on its own. Bears hibernate on their own. Certain animals migrate during certain times. Animals migrate during certain times of the year on their own. No one's telling these animals when to do that. No one's teaching a baby how to swallow. No one's teaching a person how to blink. It's just things that your body naturally can take care of on its own. So inherited traits, you guys, are all those physical characteristics, okay? The way you look, your skin color, your eye color, your hair color, how tall or how short you are, if you have curly or straight hair. But then we also inherit all those behaviors, our instincts, the things that we're born on day one being able to do. Make noise, cry, swallow, blink, breathe, get rid of waste. Okay, so if we only have two things, because remember, we wrote down humans and animals are a mix of inherited traits and learned behaviors. So it's either things that we inherit, the way we look and what we're able to do on day one, or if not, then it's something that we have to learn how to be able to do. So, oops, I'm dropping my pen. I'm going to skip a line right after this big thing here. I'm going to give myself a bullet point, and I'm going to give myself learned behaviors. So if it's not inherited, if it's not the way you look that you have no control over, your skin color, hair color, eye color, if it's not something that you're born on day one being able to do, which is breathe, blink, swallow, get rid of waste, then it has to be a learned behavior. So a learned behavior is literally anything that does not come naturally. And that really just means, you guys, it's anything that you're not able to do on day one. I'm actually going to add to this. I'm going to make the sentence say, anything that does not come naturally, comma, is learned. And then I'm going to highlight this sentence. But still, that's like a big fancy way of saying, if you're not able to do it on day one, then it's a learned behavior. So think about all the things that you're not able to do on day one, but you're able to do now. So something you weren't able to do the first day that you were born, that you now know how to do. A ton of things, okay? You can probably make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you get hungry. Well, you couldn't do that on day one of your life, so that's a learned behavior. You now know how to use the restroom. You don't have to go in a diaper. You're not wearing diapers anymore. You know how to go to the bathroom. You know how to use the toilet properly. You know how to wash your hands, all that good jazz. You guys are 10 and 11 years old. But you weren't able to do that on day one of your life, so that's a learned behavior. If mom's yelling at you to put your clothes away, you know where your clothes go. Okay, you know how to hang up the clothes that go in the closet. You know how to put the clothes in the right drawers in your dresser. Your mom's probably taught you how to fold your shirts and your shorts and all that other stuff. Put the two socks that match together so it makes a pair. That's stuff that you've learned as you've lived your life. So if it's anything that you weren't able to do on day one, figuring out how to pour milk into a bowl for cereal without spilling it all over the counter or without spilling it all over, the floor is a learned behavior. Making yourself a bagel or toast without burning yourself in the toaster, that's a learned behavior. Figuring out what buttons to push on a microwave is a learned behavior. Anything that you were not able to do on the first day of your life is something that you've learned. Riding a bike, holding a pencil, writing your name, figuring out how to read and say and sound out letters and words. Okay, no baby is born reading. They don't know how to read. They learn to read. So whether it's playing a sport, whether it's singing, writing, okay, those are all things that you learn to do as you go through your life. So we are born with the ability to make noise. And if you've ever had like a little sibling or a little cousin, babies make noises all the time, okay? But no baby is born with the ability to talk. So as a baby grows up, and as you guys have grown up, you guys are learning new words. Even now you're learning new words, okay? That's what vocab is. But it's, well, how do I want to say this? Talking would be a learned skill, a learned behavior. Using words correctly in a sentence would be a learned behavior. So let's write some of these down here. Okay, so we have learned behaviors, or anything that does not come naturally is learned. So let's give ourselves some examples. Okay, talking. We're not born with the ability to talk, but we learn how to say words and speak. Riding a bike. Even using the remote for the TV. Okay, you guys watch your parents. Oops, I remove remote. There we go. Turn the TV on and off. You figure out how to turn the TV on and off, and now you don't have to ask mommy to put the show on for you that you want to watch. You know how to turn the right show on for yourself. Okay? Playing sports. Reading. Making a sandwich. Using the restroom. There's a million things that we could write down for this. Oops, rest room. There we go. But these are learned behaviors, okay? Pushing your chair in would be a learned behavior when you're done sitting there. Making your bed before you go to school. Getting dressed so that you know your shirt's not inside out, okay? Putting your dirty clothes in the laundry basket. I'm trying to look around my house right now and find things I would say, like figuring out how to like turn the door handle, the doorknob to open or shut the door, learning how to lock the door, learning how to turn on the water for the shower. It's just whatever you were not able to do on the very first day of your life is a learned behavior. So here's what I'm going to have you do. After this video, I'm going to have you tell me 5 learned behaviors that you have learned to do throughout your life. Okay, just 5, which might seem like a lot, but we've now, just for the past couple minutes, have been talking about all of these things that you learned to do. So I'm looking for 5 learned behaviors that you know you've learned to do throughout your life. Anything that you know you were not able to do on the very first day that you were born, but you are able to do now, that's a learned behavior.